Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are. But now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 26, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 43. Stop in and grab your exquisite box of French macarons at Nicolette's Macarons in Plymouth. Nicolette's is conveniently located right off Highway 169 at 36th Avenue. Stop in at the store or order your box online at nicolettesmacarons.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm just sitting here and thinking about how I, really ruined my cat's evening just without even trying. All I had to do was, well, first of all, as I mentioned, I may have mentioned before that there are occasions that Puff, thus her name, she will come into my studio. I use quotation marks when I use the word studio, and she'll sit on my chair here. And she'll do that quite a bit. Normally not a problem, because I truly like to have, her be able to sit wherever she wants within reason. But, when you're getting ready to do a show and you come in there and there's this little animal on your chair, you gotta move her, because I'm not going to stand doing the show. Okay. I'm not. But tonight it's like, she's something else. And like, you could see about 5 minutes before the show, her running into this room that I'm in right now. And I knew right away that you're running in here because what you're going to do is you're going to jump up on the chair, and just so that you can cause a big deal when I try to move you. And that's exactly what happened. I come in here. She's pretending like she's been asleep for days. She's just like, her eyes are closed. She's all laid out. I'm like, you just got here. You're not fooling anybody. And I'm lifting her up. And as I've said many times, she does this sort of like this kind of when you try to like lift her up and stuff. And it's just like, come on. And it's a production. Okay. I mean, we're all actors in this play, the play of getting the cat off the chair. And we all have these roles. And we had a good performance tonight. And because it always ends with me holding her and sitting back down in the chair and telling her she's beautiful. And then she calms down, and I put her on the ground. She starts meow again. So it's we have roles in this house, I guess, and that's one that we seem to be playing nightly now. So that's exciting. Meanwhile, in Eden Prairie, we have Adam joining us tonight. Do you have plays at your house, Adam? Little get-togethers and stuff.
No, but what you were describing there kind of sounds like your afternoons between 2 and 5 every day. Dealing with other hosts and what they need and that play that that tightrope you have to walk between telling everybody what you think and being cordial.
The balance is more one-sided, though, I do have to admit. Probably not in my favor when I do it, but yeah.
Well, you at least show it here that you can at least pretend to balance.
I can pretend to balance. And when you have, and I didn't hear this, I mean, you heard this, when one of the hosts is like saying because he's hot in the studio that he's going to start doing the show in a swimsuit, that's where we are just like, no.
Yeah, and that's why I've put in the formal request that it has to be on a Tuesday or Thursday when I am not in the building.
Or we'll just get a supply of bleach for our eyes.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Or that Will Smith thing from Men in Black where, you zap it.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. So that's something. And then, I mean, we didn't even really finish our conversation that there is a slight possibility that not this Friday, but the next Friday that possibly Patrick might be in doing my show.
Yeah, we're going to release him from his Mylar box and let him sit here in this chair. Well, he'll use the other one that I can't stand, but sit behind, this, and you guys are going to talk about ghosties. And it'll be interesting because I know that he is not a fan of things that will spook him. So it should be interesting. You should bring some clips in.
Well, especially things at night when it's a Friday night. He leans back on that chair like it's a surfboard.
Yeah, and
it's weird.
It does, and I think he's going to realize how much of a different tone this building takes at night.
It's not the same place.
Not at all. The walls are still ugly, but it's a different feel.
And I would say, and you tell me if you think I'm right on this, it's not even at night, which it is at night as well, but it's also after the show.
Yeah, after the show, this place is always charged.
Yeah, this place is, if you're not into this sort of thing, then for sure, you don't want to be in this building. So
he will leave so quick. I guarantee it won't be put up on Spotify until Saturday when it's daylight.
Oh my God. That's probably true too. So, okay. So I'm excited because about 6 months ago or something like that, probably even longer, we had author C.L. Thomas on the program and we were talking about haunted Las Vegas. And after the show, she's just like, I hardly got started. There's so much to talk about here. And, I thought, oh my gosh, obviously CL is welcome back on the program whenever she wants to come on. And I had asked if she could come on and we could do a part 2. And then the night she was going to come on, something happened over here. Couldn't get her on the air. So I am excited. For those who don't know, C.L. Thomas, she is an author, she's a photographer, she's a very gifted person. She does this wonderful magazine that we're going to be talking about called Eerie Expeditions. This is somebody who if you need to follow her, you need to see what she's doing, because this is paranormal without the hype. This is pure paranormal. This is talking about beautiful places, talking about the spirits, talking about concepts. And it's not, with this kind of, glittery sort of stuff that we see so often in the paranormal. And it's worth pointing this out. And if you've ever heard our conversations, because I've been kind enough to be on her program, the Gateway Podcast, a number of times, and especially the last time she was on, her and I kind of just let it rip about the whole paranormal community, and not even community, but the echelon, I think is a better way of putting it. We're not talking about that tonight. Tonight, we are continuing the conversation of something that she knows very well, and I'm very excited about it. We're going to be talking about more locations that are haunted in Las Vegas, and I'm very excited to do so. C.L. Thomas, welcome to GhostBox Radio. How are you?
Hi, Greg. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Thank you very much. And we have these great conversations. But I mean, that's the thing too, is be able to get people like yourself who are a true study in paranormal to be able to come on and just talk about some really great things. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about more of haunted Las Vegas. You live out in Las Vegas.
Yes,
So
I do.
you kind of know.
I've been here for about 6 years now.
Wow.
Almost 6 years. I can't believe time is just flying. It's going by fast.
Are you going to be living in that giant guitar or
No, absolutely not. There's so much construction going on downtown right now. I was down there just today. I have a show actually going on in the Paris building this week. I'm actually working in Vegas this week. And I went down there and you just go through a cloud of dust because they're building stuff everywhere, demolishing stuff. It's crazy. Crazy times.
It's really weird. And the one time that I've driven through, and well, I've drove through Vegas twice, like in like the downtown area, not just driving past. I mean, I've done that a few times actually. It's too big for me, even though like I live in Minneapolis. Those are pretty big buildings too, but there's just something about it that's just kind of weird for me. And like now they're building like a baseball stadium down there, building that big guitar thing. They're tearing down the Mirage. I mean, there's just, it's always something, isn't there?
There is, it's America's biggest playground. So if one ride is losing interest, they got to build something else. So it kind of makes sense in a way.
It does. Well, I mean, and that's what people expect. People, I'm a kind of historian of sorts, as you are. And, the idea of old Las Vegas is something that I love. I love the fact that there are all these, how kind of the, mob quaint sort of casinos are down there. But that's not what people want, is it? They don't want old buildings. They want what's cool and new. And so do the developers, right? So that it keeps getting the people to come back and spend tons of money.
That's right. That's right. They always got to keep it on the edge. They always got to keep the latest and greatest going, because if they didn't, it would kind of get tired and put on the back burner. So there's always going to be something new to draw the crowd in. And
it is I bet it's such a flimsy ecosystem based on how much money needs to be made to keep that place just going. I bet that's really hard. It's funny you say that, because just this week, that's the big talk of the town, is that tourism is down. Oh. And it's not just Las Vegas, it's all over. And so is the entertainment industry. So it's hitting Vegas pretty hard. And I think they just had a massive round one of layoffs the past 2 weeks in town here. So, and there's a couple more they said that they're going to do until business changes. So economy's not being really nice to Las Vegas right now. No, I suppose not. Now, you were kind enough to send over a list of places that we could talk about tonight. Are you okay if people put over in the comments, like if there's like a place they're curious about, that we could see if you could answer it or not? Absolutely. All right. So folks, if you're listening and you have a question about any buildings in Vegas or anything, anywhere haunted, you can put it in the comments, but you could also call us. Eric, you can call 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Matter of fact, CL, if you don't mind, I would like people to call in if they've experienced something paranormal while they visited Vegas. I would love that. And I tell you why. Because the thing about Vegas is that it's not just one building that's haunted. This whole area has kind of like this dark feeling to it, and for many reasons. It's not just for one reason, for many reasons. There's a lot of dark energy here that's been here for probably a century. And you notice it when you live here. I just went to a ghost town Monday. I took the day off and went with a friend. We went way up in the mountains to look for a gold mining town. It was a really beautiful day. And as we were driving back into Las Vegas, she looks at me and she goes, here comes that funky energy again. It's like as soon as you start seeing that layer of light in the blackness, you start feeling it. Do you think there's an undercurrent to the city? I mean, that's kind of what I've noticed is like you could have balloons and people happy, but there's always a undercurrent of just just something very melancholy and not so great there.
There is, and it goes back even further than Las Vegas. It started a lot before that. It used to be owned by Native Americans, the Paiute tribe, and it was a meeting place, like a crossroads for the old Spanish Trail. So you had, and then the Mormon Trail also went through here. So you had waves of travelers traveling through here for a very long time before that. And a lot of war and things happened here even before Las Vegas started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I bet. Now, do you mind if we start with the question from the comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do mind? Okay. No,
I don't mind. I'm sorry.
No, it's once again me not understanding your questions. Like, what time do we start at? Oh, you've been on the 6th time. Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, the time zone always gets me.
No. I look back at it and I'm like, no, she did ask exactly what she said she asked. Jennifer says, are there any old casinos or hotels down in Old Vegas, like close to Fremont Street, that are haunted?
Oh, yes. Almost all of them are. But my favorite, it's got to be the El Cortez. That is one of our oldest standing casino and hotel right now in Las Vegas that's still standing. And when you go in there, it actually looks like it's still very old. They haven't renovated very much, and it looks like an old mob place. You can almost see them kind of hovering in the little corner restaurants and stuff, planning. So yes, absolutely.
And that's the thing. That's what I want to. There should be like part of Vegas, where you have the old neon sign park. There should just be an old Vegas part, where it's like the same old buildings that are like from the 60s and early 70s. And then we can go visit that, because that's what I want to see. I love watching the James Bond film Diamonds Are Forever, because it all takes place in Vegas during that period of time. And because that to me is what it's all about. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if the old casinos are gone, the spirits remain, right?
That's that. Yeah, the spirits still remain, but it is kind of nice to be able to walk in and see the walls, Yeah. So. Yeah.
No, and that's a really good point. Jennifer also says, thanks for the tip. Now I know where to go the next time I'm there. So there you go.
Yeah, Cortez is also the best place to gamble. If you're into that.
If you're into that sort of thing, which my money is not into that sort of thing.
Mine isn't either. But they still have the El Cortez is the only place in town that still has the old coin slot machines. So you feed it a coin, it'll spit out the coins.
Oh wow, the ding 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 ding.
Yes.
I didn't think anyone had those anymore, because when we started doing the casinos in Twin Cities here, they would have the old coin, and now it's all button. I always get sad when I see people just at the slot machines and all they're doing is just pressing a button over and over and over again. There's no it's
no fun in it.
There's no fun in it. There's no razzmatazz. It's just like, where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? And they never win. So, or they've been there long enough that they had no choice but to win like $50 or something like that. What we have coming up here, because I need to get a break in here, but what we have coming up is when we get back, I'm going to talk with CL. We're going to start with the Luxor, and we're going to talk about that. There's some other places that she had recommended that we talk about. We're going to do that as well. Once again, if there's something that a place you want to talk about, like Jennifer did, put in the comments or give us a call, 952-946-6205. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are, but now there's big news. The Kind of Like Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information. Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com. Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville. Step beyond the veil with a paranormal investigation in historic Anoka at Divine Lights. Join experienced investigators Shar Savoy and me, Greg Bakun, for a 3-hour guided exploration using real paranormal tools and intuitive techniques. This isn't about chasing shadows. We listen, we connect, and we explore with respect. Space is limited, and each night is truly personal. Join us on Thursday, February 12th. Get tickets now, find Charvinity on Facebook, and click events. And remember, haunt local. And like I just said, tomorrow is the day for the public investigation in the basement of Divine Lights. We are doing this investigation from 6 to 9 p.m. tomorrow. We get a lot of people always saying, we'd love to be able to investigate with you all. We'd like to be able to, not even to investigate with us, but even go on to a paranormal investigation and see what it's like. I bring all sorts of equipment with. We also do a lot of different sort of ways to try to connect to spirit, and it's a lot of fun. And that's going to be tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m. If you'd like to go, you can get tickets. Go to charvinity.com, look up classes and events over on the side of the page, and it's going to be right there. You can get tickets right there, and we're really excited for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see some of you out there. We are talking with author C.L. Thomas. We're talking about haunted Las Vegas, and even though I want to talk more about some of these locations, before I forget, CL, I do want to talk about Eerie Expeditions, and I'd like you to explain to people what that is if they've not heard of that before, please.
Eerie Expeditions magazine, it's a 64-page magazine that focuses only on historical legends of locations, haunted locations, and it's more for the travel crowd. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be just for the travel crowd, but it focuses completely on the historical events and haunted history and the legends surrounding different locations that you can travel to.
And this magazine's been around for a little while, hasn't it?
About a year and a half. I'm kind of taking a break with it, but it's coming back out in March. And I kind of had to restructure everything a little bit. So if you go right now to eerieexpeditionsmagazine.com and sign up on the website, you'll be entered in for a free subscription to the magazine, and it's going to be free for the entire year. So subscriptions will be free.
Very nice. And you know, I can't minimize this enough that there's a lot of work that goes into putting out something like this. I mean, it's your heart and soul, and that's why I really hope that folks listening tonight, and I'll put out the link and stuff, and when the next issue is available, I'm going to let people know. But that this is worth taking a look at, and a lot of yourself have gone into it. Oh, what do we got over there?
Well, it's a cat.
It's a cat.
Come here. Let me see if I can grab him real quick.
Oh my gosh, we have to. I don't know if you saw Ciel, but on Monday I had Deborah Blake on talking about the little book of cat magic.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was really fun. Oh, look at
there he is.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, he's really not supposed to be in here, but every time.
No kidding.
Every time.
Puff is not supposed to be on my chair, and look at what happens here. So no, that is awesome. Yes, I will stop a radio show just so I can see a cat. That is just kind of how so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's my buddy.
Yeah, it's your buddy. Oh my gosh. Big and nice big floppy kitty cat, just like
he's I've never had a cat like this before. Like I can do anything to him and he just kind of flops like over.
Well, I can hear the purring.
Yeah, he purrs.
Yeah. That's great. Oh, my goodness. Well, I suppose we should talk more about Haunted Las Vegas before the hour's up. So once again, folks, if there a place that you want to know about in Vegas, about whether it's haunted or not, Ciel will do her best to answer. You can put it in the comments, or if you've experienced something paranormal in Vegas while you visited, you can give us a call, 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205 to tell us a short version of what happened. Let's see here. We talked about, I teased before the break, the Luxor, which that's the big pyramid, isn't it?
Yes, that's the big pyramid with the light shooting in this, and they could see that from the space station when it goes around.
I mean, a building that's based off of Egyptian mythology. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, that's and that was built like in 1997, 98.
It's not that old. It's 1993 when it was built.
Okay.
There's a lot going on with the Luxor. Even during its construction, they had something happened inside there as they were constructing it. And I think it was like one of the platforms or something near the very top when they were doing the inside of it. Something collapsed in there and a bunch of people had fallen several stories and died during the construction of this thing. But they think too that some people, they're not buried under the Luxor or anything like that. But there are some legends that a couple of murders had taken place. And because they had an open pit there that they were going to fill with cement, that those bodies might have ended up there. There's a suspicion that they ended up underneath there, but they can't go and dig it up.
It's easier than driving them out into the middle of the desert when there's already a big hole, right?
Right, exactly.
Oh, God.
So there's that. And then shortly after, there was a lot of stuff that happened. I think just a few days or a few years after it opened, there was a woman in her 30s who she was staying all the way at the top. And if you've ever been in the Luxor, it's kind of open on the inside, so you can look straight down. And I guess she jumped off of one of the balconies right in front of her doorway, her hotel rooms, and she was up on the 26th floor. So they say that adds to the creepiness. But and then there was another guy, right around the same time period. There was a bomb in his car out in a parking lot, and so we went. It's like your classic casino movie scene where he goes out, he gets in his car, he starts the car up, and the car blew up right there in the parking lot. So that really happened. So
I like it. That really happens.
It really happens. Yeah. So I dug out the reports and everything. There's a couple articles about it in the Las Vegas Sun and the Las Vegas Review. about all of those incidences.
Now,
So
is there a high suicide rate of people coming into Vegas and ending it? Is that a misnomer?
no, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, people come here to commit suicide. You know the story about the mass shooter that came here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, he came here solely to commit suicide, but he wanted to take down as many people as he could in the process, unfortunately. But yeah, people do that every single day here.
Which hotel was that in?
That was shoot, that one always escapes me, the name of that.
Me too. I had it.
No, I always forget. Every time someone asks me, I always forget the name of that one.
See if I could look it up real fast. So before, I want to get back to it, but I do want to also say that the inside of the Luxor is pretty oppressive looking to me. I don't know if you ever thought that.
I do, and I kind of want to talk about that. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that too, and a lot of people don't know. So okay, it is the pyramid. So the pyramid itself is supposed to heighten paranormal activity. It's usually like a symbol of, for Egyptians anyway, burial sites, energy amplification, spiritual transitioning, all of those kind of themes. So inside the Luxor, you have this massive hollow atrium, if you will, that's said to trap and circulate energy. So it can create further all of this stuff that's happening in there. It just creates a great conditioning for residual things.
Yeah.
But not only that, the Egyptian symbolism, you're going to die when you hear this, and this is true too. The Egyptian symbolism on the Luxor is all symbolic of the afterlife, and it has Egyptian death symbolism all over it.
Wow.
So the theme of it is very much tied to the underworld and the journey of the soul. Now, why would they build that in the middle of Las Vegas? We don't know, but it's really interesting.
It feels like it's like a conduit then.
Yes. And just the fact that they have that light shooting up too into the heavens, it just adds more to the story. But when you go to the Luxor, they're kind of known for their darker shows. Like they had a show when I first moved here called Bodies. And if you know what that is, it's where they learned how to put plastic into your cells to kind of preserve them. And so they're able to show like the nervous system and all of that sort of thing. What these bodies were, I think they were prisoners or something like that from, I forget the whole story, but they were taken from an Asian country, and somebody did that, and now they're on display as like an art show. So it's really kind of dark, and there's a lot of controversy around the show Bodies. And then the other one is right now is Titanic. Yeah. They have a big, I think it's the biggest exhibition right now for Titanic artifacts. So again, when we talk about residual, why can't I say that word today? Residual, thank you. Haunted objects and things like that, you have all of that inside the Luxor.
Well, just a little bit of trivia. We originally were going to call GhostBox Radio just Bodies. So I mean that's just kind of how that was going to be. Mandalay Bay.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always forget the name of that one.
Well, and I forget that's still standing, isn't it?
It is, and it's interesting. So that whole wing where that guy did all of that stuff from, they actually bricked that up and plastered over it, so you can't even tell that that's a hallway anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, just to get rid of that stigma. But the parking lot where that concert had taken place, that had sat empty for years. It's still empty. It's all gated off and just dark. Like nobody wants to build on it or anything.
That's incredible. And I suppose too, and I once you talked about that area being cordoned off, I think they also wanted the other side of it. They didn't want to get the seekers of people who get a thrill out of staying in such rooms like that, or even in the hallway.
Yeah.
They want any of that. It sounded like.
Right. Exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah, Mandalay Bay is supposed to be like your lighter, happy place. That's what they want to present. Unlike the Luxor, who has like a total different theme going on. So they just bricked that entire hallway off to just pretend like it didn't even happen. So,
wow.
Like you said, so people don't come there and do that sort of thing.
Well, and you got to wonder if, I mean, there must be some access to there somehow, but you're obviously not going to tell anybody. And, right away, my thought is, I mean, that I'm the person they're trying to keep away, quite frankly, because I'm like, I'd like to walk down that hall. I mean, I'd like to feel what that energy is like, unfortunately, because it has to be something very, and it's it could be trapped in there, and that's all that is very interesting yet very morbid all at the same time.
I just think about what that guy, what was he thinking? What kind of state of mind are you in when you do something like that?
Yeah. Well, and also, going out to like, and I don't mean this as a thrill attraction sort of thing. So even though it's going to kind of sound this way, to go out to that parking lot and do like a spirit box session to see if you get any sort of residual responses even from that as well. Because I mean that's something that has to, we talk about the stone tape theory. When something so tragic happens, it gets imprinted onto things. Does that happen out there? Where if you go out there and you don't even need a spirit box, are you getting, especially maybe at the time of night or something, are you getting some kind of interaction or some sort of any sort of activity? I mean, very interesting stuff.
That is interesting. And, there's a lot of houses and things that are haunted in Las Vegas, even though a lot of the housing here is more modern. So I think you're right in that it's connected to the land and the things that used to be here. Because, and I'm not just talking about like the old times. You think about all the mob activity, their favorite pastime, and getting rid of people that got in their way for any reason. They took them out in the desert and buried them.
Yeah. Well, and you said it yourself at the beginning of the program that whatever is happening goes back over 100 years. It's part of the land. Is there something to do with Vegas that makes the land more susceptible to having this kind of energy and that it won't let go of it?
It's very possible because, Las Vegas is known for springs. That's why traffic started coming through here in the first place, is because the Spanish Trail, they had all those water springs. Warm Springs is a very popular street and area within Las Vegas. And that's what that is. It's actually springs coming out of the ground. When you go to the west side of Las Vegas, it's all green. There's trees, there's grass. They have like a little water that surfaced over there, like a little lake. So yeah, this was like kind of they have evidence of petroglyphs and artifacts from Native Americans and other civilizations. They're saying that this stuff goes back like 44,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Way longer than what we originally thought. So
yeah.
In a way, it could be like a basis for civilization almost in some of the areas out here.
I totally see that. That is so interesting. Gosh, that's cool. That's very cool. We got to get another break in here. Why don't we do this? When we come back, let's talk about the flamingo.
Okay.
And I feel like there's going to be a part 3 to our conversation because we're taking our time, and I love this. I hope you all are too. So. Everyone, if you have something, put it in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to talk about the flamingo and whatever else we can fit in the last segment. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are. But now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information. Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Step beyond the veil with a paranormal investigation in historic Anoka at Divine Lights. Join experienced investigators Shar Savoy and me, Greg Bakun, for a 3-hour guided exploration using real paranormal tools and intuitive techniques. This isn't about chasing shadows. We listen, we connect, and we explore with respect. Space is limited, and each night is truly personal. Join us on Thursday, February 12th. Get tickets now, find Charvinity on Facebook, and click events. And remember, haunt local. And join me tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We're going to be doing a replay from the 17th of July, 2023. We're going to be speaking with author Alex Matsuo as we talk about her book, which was new at the time, Women in the Paranormal, Volume 1. And hopefully there's going to be a Volume 2 coming out here pretty soon. But it was a great conversation and well worth a listen. So please join us for that. Then, of course, Friday the 13th, is going to be Casual Friday, where we will talk about superstition. So that should be a lot of fun. We are talking tonight with author C.L. Thomas as we are talking about haunted Las Vegas. And we only have one segment left, but I think what we're going to talk about next, this is kind of like one of the OGs, isn't it? The Flamingo goes back to goes back to 1946. I just looked up.
Yes, absolutely. It's one of our last standing mob orchestrated casino hotels in the city right now, aside from the Cortez. But I think the Cortez was kind of taken over later as a mob run place, but the Flamingo was built by the mob.
Right. Bugsy Siegel, right?
Yes, Bugsy Siegel. That's who I want to talk about. You can't not talk about Siegel and the haunting of the Flamingo. There's just no way to get around it. People have picked up a male voice and everything that they attribute to Bob Siegel. Some say it sounds like him. People say they see him, all kinds of things. And it happens right around the pool area in the Flamingo. So, but before I get into that, I guess I have to talk a little bit about why Bugsy Siegel is so important with the Flamingo.
Sure.
He started out in New York as he wasn't even in the mob until he was in his early 20s, I believe. he meets a guy named Meyer Langsky. I think I'm saying his name right. And he's another mob guy, and he gets him into the Italian mob and gets him into like street crime, things like that. So he's just a street kid who really has nothing, not really a good family background or any of that. He's just trying to do what he can on the streets of New York. So then he shows up in Las Vegas, and they offer him this great opportunity to help an architect at the time who was very much involved with the mob. He comes on board because he's kind of under the radar. No one really knows about him. It's just great opportunity for him to kind of rise in the mob. And he takes this on to build the Flamingo. Well, then he gets it in his head that he's going to build the best hotel in the country. So the whole point of it was to make money for the mob, but instead he's losing money because he's buying the most expensive marble for the flooring. He's just going way over the top. Crystal chandeliers, you name it, he was doing it because this was his baby. He wanted to prove himself, and this was his. He was so tied to the Flamingo. It came to the point where they asked him to step down. He wouldn't do it. And so you see what happened. He went to LA at his girlfriend's, and they ended up shooting him to get rid of the guy.
Wow.
But the Flamingo was his baby. That was his thing. He just, his whole purpose in life was to build this hotel in his mind. And he lived in this suit. I don't know how far up it was, but it used to sit right above where the pool is today. And it was called the Oregon Building. The Flamingo was like several different buildings. The Oregon Building was the one that he lived in. And I think his was like the top floor, the penthouse, if you will, or the presidential suite. So they tore it down. I think sometime in the 90s, they might have demolished that. And then they built the new pool that's there today. And so that's where you get that this pool is haunted.
Wow. Yeah, I'm taking a look at this, and I mean that is quite classic Vegas there. And you know, when you're talking about, you know, people getting messages or possibly getting Siegel or anybody coming through, do you think sometimes that there's going to be a lot of spirits that are trying to get through in Vegas just because of what Vegas is and what it attracts?
Yeah, I think it's one of those places that you just really don't know who you're going to attract as far as the spirit world goes, because it's such a noisy place. First of all, there's people from all over the world come here, and terrible things happen to a lot of those people.
Yeah.
They put, you know, their last hope and dreams into maybe the last little bit of money that they have, and they lose it all just on one throw of the hand, you know. And then on top of that, I don't know if you know this, there's a lot of sex trafficking that comes through Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Because we're so close to the border. And so one of the things that happens here, and they don't talk about it a lot because they don't want to scare tourists. There's on average 300 women that go missing from the Strip every month. That's every month. And so what they do is, from what I've read and researched, you have tags of traffickers that will actually sit along places like Fremont Street, and they look for that one girl who's really drunk and by herself, and that's when they get them. So and that's something that goes on.
And you said 300 taken from the Strip every month.
Every month, 300 women go missing.
3,600 women are taken from the Strip every year.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're right. No one does talk about that.
Nobody talks about that stuff.
That's frightening stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also the reality of Vegas, isn't it? I mean, that.
Yeah, it's not a very safe place to be. You know, when you're down on the Strip, just don't be by yourself. Especially if you're a female.
Yeah.
You just have to really be careful.
Yeah, and you could see, and not to turn this into a really morbid episode per se, but you could see, as I've visited a number of times to Vegas, how easy that could happen, because there's always crowds day and night walking around out there.
Yeah.
Just lots of people. It's easy for someone to get kind of, they're loud. If someone's even screaming, it probably is going to go unnoticed.
Exactly. It's so easy just for them to drive through the strip, grab somebody, and then just take off. You'll never see them again.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go out anytime soon.
That's the kind of element that Las Vegas has, though, and it always had. Well into the 30s, it's always had that kind of crime element that goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. We have about 7 minutes or so left. Do we want to tackle one more? Get one more in?
We can.
How about the Westgate Las Vegas?
We could talk about that. That is Elvis's baby. So I don't know anything about the mob with that place. I don't think it's really associated with the mob. It's one of the newer constructions from like the 50s and 60s, after the mob. But it's known because of Elvis. Elvis had an apartment there. He lived there for, I don't know how long. I think it was a year. But the thing about it is, this is Elvis in his later life, and he had a manager that was not taking care of him very well. He was kind of extorting him, if anything. He got Elvis into a lot of debt, and he didn't want to have a residency here in Vegas. So for him, it was a prison to be here. He wanted to go travel the world and do a world tour. But he was here. He was very unhappy. He was very much on drugs all the time, so he wasn't in his right mind. So all of that kind of comes into play if you think you're in prison and you're just not in your right mind like that and you're depressed. And he's in the West building, what is it called?
Let's see, the West. I see like a West Tower.
Westgate.
Westgate, yeah. Boy.
So, yeah, he didn't die at the Westgate, but I mean, do you think that really matters if somebody's really had a horrible time in life?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think that's the whole thing, is that they can kind of go wherever they need to. And then I see, because I'm like looking it up, and then I see that in 1981 there was a major fire that occurred there. So a busboy who was under the influence of drugs set fire to a curtain in an elevator lobby on the 8th floor of the East Tower. The fire spread to exteriors of the tower and then traveled up to the top of the building within 25 minutes. 8 people were killed.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people that died in that too. Yes. So
you got to think, once again, we're talking about, the stuff with tragedy. Does that stick? Does that stick? Real fast, we have about 4 minutes left. Jennifer has another question. She says, how about a lighter question? Nah. That's not what remember, the show was going to be called Bodies. With Elvis spending so much time in Vegas, especially towards the end of his life, has there ever been sightings of Elvis ghost, maybe at Westgate or Caesars?
There are a lot of stories of people seeing Elvis, particularly in Westgate. People see him a lot in Westgate, but it's not unusual for, we have a lot of reenactors and things like that, Elvis impersonators. Yeah. But there are a lot of people that will come back and say, I really think I saw Elvis. In fact, I have a neighbor who just saw this a couple of days ago. There was a guy who looked just like Elvis going through, I think it was like a Starbucks window or something. She took a picture of him and sent it to me. And she swears to this day that was really Elvis. Even though we have all these impersonators, but yeah, you hear that all the time here.
Well, that was my first thought when you're like, yeah, do we see it? It's like this? That's the home of the Elvis impersonator. They're coming out of planes and parachutes. It has to be tough to be, and some of these people look more like Elvis than Elvis ever looked like. What I mean?
That's true. But you have to wonder though, if you're a spirit and you wanted to manifest somewhere, what a better place to do it if you are Elvis?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't have to worry about ever being identified because there are hundreds of them walking around. I mean,
Literally hundreds.
literally hundreds of them. And that's great. Oh my gosh. I actually know somebody who her son is an Elvis impersonator. It's just like, wow, that's something. That really is. You know, either you do that or you become a radio host. It's one or the other, right? I mean, it's just kind of how it works. So CL, I think we're gonna have to do a part 3 if you're up for it at some point.
Yeah, there's still a lot on the list that I haven't gotten to.
No, see, I told you that's how we started. That's how I started this, saying that you said that. And but the thing is what I like about this is that we're taking our time with it as well. You know, that we're talking through it. I love like Jennifer coming on and giving some questions and some of her insight and stuff, because that's what it is, because this is such a unique place that it's fun to kind of take our time and going through it. I like that.
I like that too. It's fun.
Good. And then before we head off, once again, forgive me, is the website erieexpeditionmagazine.com or?
Yes, erieexpeditionsmagazine.com.
And go there, sign up, and reap the benefits of it. And once again, once I know when your next issue is coming out, we will definitely promote it here as well, because that's cool stuff. I mean, that is really nice to be able to have that. And like you said, like you also said, for the traveler, but also for people like myself who for a while probably isn't going to travel a whole lot, but be able to live vicariously through the articles and stuff that has been written in the magazine. So that's pretty cool.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where I really wanted to create something that wasn't so centered around the TV shows.
Yes.
I really wanted to bring it back to real, you know, not real paranormal, but paranormal that contains the historical legends and paranormal stories of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to get out of here, but CL, thank you so much. This was great. I really enjoyed this, and so clearly so do the audience as well. We'll be back tomorrow with Alex. Everyone, have a good night.
It's Brad Friedman, host of the Bradcast.